we are going to start a new chapter, that is final account with adjustment. Since we have solved many problems regarding final account without adjustment, and after the successful completion and also the task that I have given to you, and most of the students have completed those tasks, and I think there is no more further doubts regarding the posting of the items in the chapter called final accounts without adjustments. Okay, so under this unit, as I have told you and as we have discussed, the first thing that we have to learn or to understand was the expenses and expenditure, then the classification of expenditure, then the different types of assets and liabilities for the posting of or for the transfer of items like assets and liabilities to position statement or balance sheet. Okay, so now then after final account without adjustment, the next chapter comes final account with adjustment. As you know what the adjustments are. Okay, adjustments means, I have already told you, adjustment means those items that are not at all recorded in any book of account. In the previous chapter, that is final account without adjustment, you were having only one adjustment item, that was closing stock. So you know that how the closing stock was treated. It was taken to the credit side of trading account, and also it was taken to the asset side of balance sheet under the head current assets. Okay, so similarly there will be more adjustment that will be come across in this chapter, that is final account with adjustments. Okay, there will be adjustment regarding various items. I have already sent the notes regarding the adjustments in the group, so please read those adjustments. And since all the adjustments cannot be explained here and it is not impossible to write over here, so I have sent you already the written format of all the adjustments. Just read it, understand it. If there is any doubt, please ask me, but further I will make you understand in short how those adjustments are treated. See, first of all we need to know the meaning of adjustments. Okay, meaning. Since I have just told you verbally, we haven't have any written, so it may be problem for some students that they don't understand it unless it is in written form. Okay, so adjustment means, first of all understand, whenever a transaction is omitted from the book of account. As you know, regarding when we have studied in rectification of error, whenever a single transaction is omitted from the entire book of account, that entire book of account, if I say if you have not recorded in journal, it won't go to ledger and it won't transfer to trial balance. Similarly, it won't exist in your final accounts if you don't treat those items as adjustments. Okay, so omission of transactions completely from the book of accounts can be also called as a adjustment. And if those items, if you don't get or come across before preparing financial statement and after the completion of trial balance, definitely you won't get the correct result of your business organization. And again, as you know, correct result means you won't get the correct profit or loss of the business during an accounting year, and it is also impossible or difficult for you to estimate or disclose the correct financial position of the business by that accounting year. Okay, so first of all, it is necessary that if any transaction is omitted by you and you come across to know that you have omitted those transactions after the completion of trial balance, then put those transactions or items as footnotes outside the trial balance. Now the thing is, when you go to prepare financial statement, that is trading account, profit and loss account and balance sheet, you have to keep in mind that the adjustments that are given outside trial balance are treated to any two financial statements, only because the double entry effect and the dual aspect concept is not followed on those items. Okay, I have already told you, since I am making a revision by a bit short. Okay, the transactions that are found in trial balance that are already journalized, posted to ledger and then carried down and brought down, made the closing balances and the opening balance in the form of brought down, are taken to trial balance. Then those items existing in trial balance are treated only once. Once means taken to only one financial statement. But the adjustments or the items that are existing outside trial balance, the best example is closing stock, that you have solved many times in the previous chapter. So the adjustments or the items that are existing outside the trial balance, you have to treat it by fulfilling the concept or conventions regarding the double entry system and also dual aspect concept. So dual or double means two. Okay, so that means those adjustments are to be taken to two financial statements, minimum two financial statements, because there are also certain transactions in the form of adjustments that should be taken to 3 financial statements. Okay, 3 or more than 2, whatever you can say. The effect depends upon the nature of the transaction or the nature of the adjustment. For example, I've already sent the note, you can watch it over here, there. But again, I'm telling you that, see, like there is outstanding expenses. So definitely these outstanding expenses must be related to an expenses, because if certain expenses are not paid on due date, that are called as outstanding expenses. Okay, so for example, if you have not paid the rent for your premises that where you reside since 2 months, then the 2 months rent amount is what? Outstanding. That means it is due. So that due is termed in accounting as outstanding expenses. Okay, so these outstanding expenses is now can be called as outstanding rent, because it relates to rent. So how should you treat this outstanding rent? Because you have not journalized this transaction. If you not journalize, means you won't get the ledger accounts posted or transferred to trial balance. So now, what is the journal entry of outstanding rent? As you know, for example, take the rent for the premises per month is 3,000 and you have not paid since 2 months. So what is the amount of the total outstanding rent? 6,000. 3,000 into 2 for 2 months. Okay, so the total outstanding rent that you haven't paid yet is amounted to 6,000. Now, what is the journal entry that you pass? That is rent account debited to outstanding rent account. Why? Rent account is your nominal account, debit all and expenses and losses. Then outstanding rent is increase in liability, and according to traditional rule, increase in liability means credit balance. Since you have solved this transaction journal, I am not going more detail to this, but okay, it is very necessary to understand those things. See, if I say when you pay rent, okay, simple example, when you pay rent, for example, 3,000 rupees. So what the journal entry do you pass in your book of account? That is rent account debited to cash account. So rent is a expenses according to nominal account, it shows debit balance, and cash being real account, the amount goes from your business. So credit what goes out. So if you don't pay the rent same goes with the head expenses only. If you don't pay the rent does not convert it to an income. It does not convert it to an assets, but it gets converted into a liability in the form of outstanding. So therefore, when you don't pay the rent for 2 months amounting to 6,000, the journal entry comes rent account debited to outstanding rent. Why? Rent is still our expenses during these 2 months. So rent is a nominal account, debit balance. So according to debit balance, rent shows expenses. Expense and losses are shown under the debit head. So debit balance is rent. But why outstanding expenses are taken as credit balance? There are 2 reasons. First of all, the main reason according to traditional rule is when a liability increases. Okay, when a liability increases, a particular head or a account or a item shows credit balance. So outstanding rent is taken to be as liability. How it is liability? You know accrual concept. What does accrual concept says? It says about the receivables and payables. When an expenses is not paid on the due date, it becomes payable. Okay, in general terms, what those payables are called as? That payables are called as liabilities. Okay, so that is why outstanding rent is a liability. And now, if you have studied the types of liabilities and assets, outstanding rent can be classified under what kind of liability? It does not have any physical form, but it is due for a particular time period. So outstanding rent is a fictitious liability. Okay, you will be knowing when we will be solving the problems and putting those expenses or the outstanding amounts in the particular heads. Okay, so see, since outstanding rent is a liability, traditional rule says increase in liability is a credit balance. So this was the first reason why outstanding rent account was credited in the journal. Now the second cause, if we take generally or casually, that we say according to golden rule. So see, outstanding rent means I have told you that rent is a nominal account, and any nominal account balances when prefix or suffix by an extra word, that balances get converts into representative personal balances. I hope you remember I have said that if any particular nominal account balances are added any word in the front or behind, so those balances, that means a prefix or suffix by a word. If you say rent outstanding or outstanding rent, the meaning is same or the thing is same. So here an extra word added with the nominal account balance, that is rent. So the term comes now rent outstanding. So rent outstanding is a representative personal account balance, as we have learned in the types of account. So if it is a representative personal account balance, whom does it represent? Because for a particular transaction, always two parties are involved. Always two parties are involved. As you know, transaction means exchange of goods and services between two parties for some value. So who are the two parties involved in this transaction also? That means the tenant and the owner. If you are a tenant, so obviously this head won't represent you, because according to business entity concept, owner and business are two different persons, and business do not write its name in his book of accounts. That means this outstanding rent represents the person to whom you are owing to pay, OWING, owing to pay, or you owe to pay 2 months rent. That means outstanding rent is a representative personal account balance. And whom does it represent? To your owner of the premises where do you reside. So see, now when you know the personal account rule, the golden rule of personal account, that is debit the receiver, credit the giver. So as I told you, this is the general or casual way that we are talking about the outstanding rent, how it is treated in modern or golden rule of accounting. So see, now if outstanding rent account is credited, so what should we say? Credit the giver. So this personal account represented to whom? Your owner of the premises where do you reside. Okay. So now credit the giver. So what does he give to you? You have to pay him rent, but he does not pay you anything. Okay, so what he is the giver of? So we can say generally he is the giver of time. He is the giver of time. The extra time that he allots you to pay his rent, that he considers as income and that you take as your expenses. Okay, so in this case, rent account debited to outstanding rent means rent account is a nominal account, expenses being shown as the debit balance, and outstanding rent being liabilities on credit balance, or in other way if you take it as a golden rule of accounting by classification of accounts, it is considered to be as a representative personal account balance. And representative personal account balance is always directly or indirectly represent to a person to whom these transactions are related. So here your owner is involved for these outstanding expenses. So your owner is the giver. He is the giver of what? He is the giver of time. Means what time? The extra time that he allows you to pay your expenses or your rent. Okay. So in those ways, various transactions are solved. This was just example or the first only single transaction that I told you. And moreover transactions we are going to come across in the chapter final account with adjustments. Okay. So please note carefully. And as I told you, the meaning of adjustments, you can call it as adjustments are the items or the transactions. It refers to the items or transactions. Okay. It must be a transaction, otherwise it cannot be an adjustment. Okay. It refers to the items or transactions that are not recorded in the book of accounts. That are not recorded in the book of accounts. Okay. In other words, such transactions or items do not find place in any book of accounts. Okay, so what did I write here? Adjustment means it refers to the items or the transactions that are not recorded in the book of accounts. Okay, same thing synonymously you can say. In other words, such transactions or items do not find place in the book of accounts. Okay, now what do we call this when you post? Okay, posting or treatment means you have to post these transactions, okay, in your financial statements. So I have written here posting or treatment. See, when you post these transactions, when these transactions are posted, when these transactions are posted to final accounts, or financial statement that you say, two final accounts in the form of entries. In the form of entries. Now see, the question is why I call say here entries, because as you know, any item or transaction that unless journalized cannot be taken to any book of account. You have to journalize it in the form of an entry. So that is why I have written here entry. See, if you don't give a particular transaction debit balance and credit balance, how can you treat it in the financial statements? That is why these are called as also entries. Okay, but since they are not written in any book of account, these entries will be given a different name. These are also the journal entries, because you have to pass entries to those adjustments also. But these entries will be given a different name since they are found outside the trial balance or omitted completely from your book of accounts. Okay. So then they are called as adjustment entries. Got it? So when you take these transactions to the financial statement, so you cannot write directly as a sentence. It is not an essay writing or summary writing. Okay, you have to post this transaction in the form of certain entries that you call entries in the initial where you are making the journalization. Okay, there you call it as a journal entries. These are also journal entries, but since they are not recorded initially, now they are taken to financial statement by way of adjustments. So these entries taken by way of adjustments to final accounts or to financial statements, so they are called as adjustment entries. Got it? So adjustments or the items that are existing outside trial balance are treated to any two financial statement. Why? To fulfill the double entry system and dual aspect concept. And the way they are posted or they are taken to financial statement in the form of entries, and those entries are called as adjustment entries. Okay, so you got it here, adjustment entries. Now another question arises, closing entries. Okay, so what does closing entries means? Closing entries. You will definitely come across these terms when you will be solving the problems of final account with adjustments. See, the items that are given outside the trial balance and you take it in the form of entry to the financial statement or two financial statements, then they are called as adjustment entries. So what are the closing entries? What are the items that remain after the adjustments? The items that are existing inside trial balance. See, the items that are existing inside trial balance are treated once, taken to one financial statement only. Those items are called as closing entries. I will explain you how. The items or transactions. The items or transactions that are found in trial balance. That are found in trial balance. After closing of ledger accounts and taken to final accounts. Okay, are called as closing entries. See what I wrote here, the items or transactions that are found in trial balance after closing of the ledger account. Means you close the ledger accounts, make that carry down and take it as opening balance, that is the form of brought down, and then you take it to final account. So that is why they are called as closing entries. Why it is called as closing entries? See, after the trial work of the trial balance or the ledger account is over, they cannot be taken as the fresh start for the transaction as you do in the beginning. That is why they are called as the closing entries. As you do opening entries in the beginning of the year and you post these transactions of the trial balance to the financial statement at the end of an accounting year, so similarly in that case also you can call these are the closing entries because they are named so for The reason they are posted at the end of an accounting year. And why these entries are called as adjustment entries? Because first of all, they are not recorded in the book of account, so they exist as adjustment outside your trial balance. So these items or adjustments that you take in the form of entries to the final account, that is your last book or final book entry. Okay, so there, since they are taken in the form of entries, so adjustments or items taken in the form of entries are called as adjustment entries. So these two are most important terms that you need to know when you come across the chapter called final account with adjustment. When the entries are found in the trial, the items are found in the trial balance and take it to final account, they are called closing entries, because they are treated once and they are taken directly to financial statement according to their nature and at the end of an accounting year, so they are called as closing entries. But these entries are also taken at the end of an accounting year, but by nature they are adjustments. So adjustments taken in the form of entries to the financial statements for the fulfillment of double entry effect or dual aspect effect are called as adjustment entries. So this is what the meaning of the adjustment entries and closing entries. Never get confused regarding this. Okay, it is very simple. So since we have solved final account without adjustment part, now let us move on to the chapter final account with adjustment. So here goes the video. I will explain you verbally by looking out the notes. If you don't understand, you can ask me further. Okay, please watch it.